Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by the garden today. I just wanted to sit down and go over my gardening journals because it's really important to take notes when you're growing so many plants, or if you're just starting out with plants. It really helps you to go back and see what has worked and what hasn't worked for you in the garden. So I have two different notebooks. I have succulents and houseplants and cacti, and then I have one on just veggies and herbs. And we're just going to go over some things in these books that I wrote down so I can show you guys what I record. Now, the main things I like to record is how much water I'm giving it in the certain season. So in the winter, I kind of record how much water they're sucking up, and then in the summer I record because it's both different. And then I get an idea of how much waterings are needed when I look back. I also record the amount of food that I'm giving it. I can't talk today, so please excuse me. I'm also recording the amount of food I'm giving them and the pot size, the type of soil I'm giving them, how fast that soil might be drying out, how they're doing, if they're struggling, if they're getting hit with bugs, any kind of pests. I record what kind of pests I'm dealing with and what I treat with. So we're just going to pick some things out of my book here and go over like what I record down. So my blackberry, I have 3, and I changed the growth on my bigger one. I repotted it, plus I put it in different sunlight. So I increased the sunlight. It wasn't 6 hours, and then I put it in 8, and it's doing a lot better. So I recorded that down in my book. Growing well now, bigger blackberry has new foliage and branches starting to grow out of the bottom. This way I know when they started to grow. I put the date that started happening, so that was 1/29. This way I know back in January, the end of January, my blackberry was starting to grow those branches, and now they're starting to get bigger. So I can record, okay, they've gotten pretty big, they're starting to twine around, and they're growing berries on them. So now I can record that my blackberry's starting to flower, which is pretty cool. This way I know next year that this time of year my blackberry starts to flower, and I know when the proper time is to trim it, because you want to trim way before spring starts. This way when it starts to grow, it can have spring to grow and bloom and everything. So you want to document kind of when your plants are blooming as well, and I do that a lot for everything, my peppers, my succulents. This way I know what time of year my plants are going to bloom, or how many days after I plant that eggplant I'm going to get a produce and some flowers on that. So for my blackberry, I basically just put was growing in 6 hours, now getting 8. Growing a lot better over the past few weeks because I increased the sunlight, fed with fish fertilizer approximately 4 days ago. This way I know exactly when I fed with that fish fertilizer and gave it food and what I gave it and how much. And then I just documented that I gave a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon per gallon of water with my Foliage Pro, as well as my 2 tablespoons of fish fertilizer. This way I know exactly what I'm feeding them. So that's that, and I have a lot more things that I documented in there, but that's basically the gist of it. And then my house plants, I document when I get it, how old it is approximately, and then when you get a house plant, you might not know the age of it. So I just document like basically how many leaves are on it, or how big it is, how tall it is, how wide it is, how many leaves are on there. So my pothos, we transplanted it about a week ago. You can see we have this dated, the date I'm writing the notes, my pothos plant, and all the notes on that plant that we've done over that past week. So usually every week I like to document. I go in my books that week, see what's changed. If nothing's changed with the plant, I usually won't document. If something's changed with that plant, I'll usually document it. Or if I change something with it, or it's struggling, something going on with it, then I'll document. If nothing's changed and I haven't done anything with my plant for a couple of months, I usually won't document. I'll just basically write that, on 2/22, it's growing great, and, I haven't changed anything, just so I know that plant doesn't need a lot of maintenance like my other ones. Now, my Fittonia arguinera, I wrote transplanted about a week ago, has grown a lot of new foliage since repotting. Placing it in the bathroom, gets dappled, filtered sun coming in through the curtain. Just fed with my Dynagrow Grow 2 days ago and treated with neem oil because I had to treat all my plants with neem. I'm starting to get aphids. It's just that time of year. So I'm documenting everything down. And I can go back in my book from last year and see that we got aphids starting to pop up this time of year last year. So I know that, if I can try to grab that neem oil and spray my plants before those aphids pop up, I have a better success in grabbing those pests and those problems before they occur by documenting them down in your books. You also want to record like waterings, how much water your plants are sucking up during that certain time of year, the soil, the feedings, the sunlight, just the most important things that you're going to be thinking of, that you might not remember. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and document in your books. I like to use these instead of the internet, because if the internet goes down, I can't get my information. I have these books right here, and I have a ton of them, but just document as much as you can until you get the hang of it. And then, by now I really don't need to document my waterings. I just document like the amount of feedings. If I do change the waterings, if it's sucking up a little more during that couple of months, then I will document it. But if it's really just regular waterings and maintenance, I don't have to document no more, because these books really helped me in the beginning to keep a schedule and to remember when they need watering and when they didn't. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you need any help at all on taking notes in your books, let me know. I'd love to help you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.